practicing your piety before others in order to be seen by them. For then you have no reward from your Father in heaven. So whenever you give alms, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and in street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so as to show others that they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received the reward. Whenever you fast, but when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may be not seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not store for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. But store for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consume, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Here ends the reading. Thanks be to God. Please pray with me. Holy One, we ask your Spirit now to be among us, moving through this space. Help us to hear your voice this evening. We pray in your Son's name. Amen. There is a meme I shared on my Facebook page today. It's red, typical of Valentine's Day, with hearts flowing all around the edges. It's very pretty. And it says, "So what are your Valentine's Day plans?" And the answer, of course, is your normal, typical, very common Valentine's Day answer: I have to work, and remind everyone about their inevitable deaths. Because, of course, it's an Ash Wednesday, where inevitable death is sort of the theme of the day. And today is both Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday. And those of us who are pastors are well aware of the connection. But it seems to be appropriate to me. This year, as I have said in a couple of conversations, is the year of mixed-up holidays in our church year. Just wait until April Fool's Day and Easter collide in 40 days not counting Sundays. They do take calendars. And while I could choose to ignore the coincidence and not address Valentine's Day here on Valentine's Day, where's the fun in that? More importantly, I think putting these two special days together can allow us to ask some interesting questions. After all, Valentine's Day is the day in which we contemplate what it means to love. And love is at the center of what we do as a church. When the two most important messages of the gospel are, you are loved by your Creator just as you are, and two, you are called to love your neighbor. While that a day about love is one we should be able to celebrate in the church. So what does this have to do with Ash Wednesday, and how can a day, as the meme implies, that remembers we are mortal and frail, connect to the fact that we love one another? How do I connect these two? Well, to begin with, I would look at Isaiah. And especially the idea Isaiah raises of fasting. Fasting is, of course, an honored part of the Christian tradition, and of traditions well before us. Done well, abstaining from food for a time can be a way to focus on God, to allow what is absent to be filled by our Creator, to allow the slight hunger pangs that come to remind us to go to God in prayer. Our youth will do just such a fast in about a month or so when they do the 30-hour famine again. And Ash that the first day of Lent is one of those moments in our liturgical lives that is about beginning and thinking about fasting. Put bluntly, those who give up something for Lent, as many do amongst the Christian traditions of this country, are engaging in a fast. Whether you give something up, or as we do here, add something by bringing food for the food pantry, it's a fast. It's a ritual meant to focus on what you do not have anymore, food you're eating or food you're bringing, so that in so doing you can focus more directly on God. That's what we do during Lent in our tradition. A fast like that, centered on God and listening to the Spirit, can be life-transforming. But that's not what Isaiah was seeing. Instead, Isaiah saw people fasting for ritual's sake only. And indeed, not only that, but to gain the favor of God. They were imagining a transactional faith, where if I do this thing, then God has to do that thing. And they were trying to make deals with God by how they went about their liturgical lives. What they failed to realize is God doesn't work like that. And that the rituals by themselves didn't even please God. Because God wanted something else. And so Isaiah, after telling people, no, really, this is not going to work, tells them what exactly it is God wants from them. What kind of fast do you think the Lord asks of you, says the prophet? Is it not to do justice, to care for the poor, the homeless, and the hungry, to give clothes to the naked and care for the least of these? Is not this the fast the Lord requires? What God seeks to do the people of Israel is justice work. To care for the widow and the orphan, to bring relief to those most vulnerable in their society, to give voice to those most ignored, those who feel voiceless. That's the kind of fast envisioned by Isaiah millennia ago. It is the kind of fast God calls us to still. We are called, brothers and sisters, to engage in a fast whereby we care for the poor and the homeless, by seeking policy that gives fair wages to all people, including the working poor, and supporting programs that allows them to do more than just survive. We're called as employers, and we do strive to do this actually, to make sure we treat our employees with fair and just practices. And as I said, we do strive to do that, but it's part of what we're called to do. We're called to grapple with housing realities in this country that often leave even working adults with no place to call their own. After all, not just the jobless are homeless in America, but many have jobs and have no home. And we're called to pay attention to and strive to overcome the complete lack of mental health services that exacerbate so many of the homeless problems in our country. We are called to make space for the immigrant, the alien among us, to remember their humanity, and to oppose any policy that sees immigrant or anyone else first as a status, such as legal or illegal, before considering their humanity, before remembering that they are children of God. For that's who they are first, and that's what we are called to see first. We are called to say unequivocally that Black lives matter and blue lives matter, that the lives and stories of our brothers and sisters are important, especially if those lives or stories have been given short shrift or have been ignored. We are called to be a people who hold a fast for justice, a people who look anyone in our society who is downtrodden and lifts them up. Not because they deserve it, not because they've done all the right things, but because they're loved by God. And God's love does not come with conditions. God's love, God's care, does not ask who is doing the right things to help themselves. God's love simply is. We are called to seek after justice that simply is. That's the kind of fast that God expects from us. And on this Ash Wednesday, as we begin our Lenten journey, it's the kind of fast we should pursue. So coming back around, what does all of this have to do with Valentine's Day? The answer is simple. Valentine's Day reminds us of why we do this fasting, this seeking for justice. It's because of love. Because of love for our Creator, who has loved us and loves us still, and empowers us through that love to do God's work in the world, and more importantly, out of love for our neighbor. We are called to love our neighbor just as we love ourselves, to love our neighbors of color, our neighbors with mental illness, to love our neighbors who are struggling financially and are just making by, to love our neighbors when they look and feel and vote just like us, and to love our neighbors when they're nothing like us. We're called to love our neighbors just down the street and around the block, across the country and around the world. To love them all because they are our brothers and sisters. To love them because they are loved just as we are loved by our Creator, who really wants to be our Valentine. We are called to love them. And on this day, it's all about love. We should remind ourselves of that call. So this Lenten season, we are indeed called to a fast, but a fast out of love, a fast toward justice for all of God's creation and those who inhabit it. And on this Valentine's Day, let us proclaim our love not just for our partners, not just for our children and our families and for our friends. Let us proclaim our love for our neighbors. And out of that love, let us seek the fast proclaimed by Isaiah, a fast of justice, a fast of caring, a fast